Hello everyone, hope all is well. This is WinRider711 and today we're playing PUBG on Xbox. So this footage was actually recorded a month before PUBG left game preview, so this was still the early game preview. It's still essentially the same game. The only difference was that there are less weapons, so you'll have the classic weapons rather than all the newer ones. I wanted to include this because this was really good gameplay, so I hope you guys enjoy this. So for people who are new to this channel, what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna skip parts of the gameplay because this is a 30-minute gameplay. I'm gonna squeeze it down to 10 to 13 minutes. So I'm gonna cut a lot out and I'm gonna fast forward some stuff out and I'll talk very little during the actual footage. I'll talk more towards the end. Because one of the things I started to do was a gameplay rewind, so towards or after the entire gameplay clip is over, I'm gonna do a rewind and go over the highlights of the gameplay. So just a quick reminder right now, not everything loaded in the beginning. So you'll see certain buildings and certain structures load in just towards the beginning. So normally if there's an enemy that's really well defended and I don't have a shot, I'm usually just gonna leave them. I don't bother waiting for them just so I can kill them. I will usually just move on. Here's the thing, I'm not gonna try bothering to try and dueling that guy just because even though I got the general direction of where he might be, he knows clearly where I am, so he has the advantage over me, so I'm not even gonna bother fighting that guy. Sometimes it's really best to just live and fight another day. So even though I clearly didn't hit anyone with Molotov, I'm using the Molotov as a defensive purpose. I'm using it to create spacing between me and the opponent. I was using it to cover flanking routes just so that if I try to make an escape route, he won't be able to follow me in that same way. And if you've seen my gameplay in the past, I like to carry a lot of smoke grenades, and you're gonna see me, as you can see, I've already used 2 of them, and this is usually my strategy for games. I know there's some bad aiming, but hey, if it works, then it works. If I'm alive, then I'm alive. I was trying to see if he had any grenades or smoke grenades. So the first highlight is going to be this building right here. So I heard a guy up there. You'll hear his gunshots in a bit. I heard him. He was clearly shooting, but for some odd reason he didn't circle back and make sure the staircase, or at least behind him, was clear. He clearly wasn't killing his target, and even though these buildings are good vantage points, you always want to make sure that after you've shot a couple times like this, you want to make sure that no one is behind you, because this was also towards the later part of the game too, so the circle was small. The chances of enemies being nearby was very high at this point. The next highlight is from earlier. So whenever you're being chased like this, sometimes, especially if there's a building in front of you, sometimes you don't necessarily want to always turn around and firefight at the same time. This was clearly a good way to lure him in, and he fell for it. So the next and final highlight is using your terrains. And in these clips over here, you saw me circling around the rocks, you saw me circling around trees, and it's very important to know how to strategize with that. So the last guy, his biggest mistake was being very predictable. He kept going in the same direction. Me, I would go counterclockwise, but then I would sometimes go clockwise in the opposite direction, and I would catch him off guard, and I was slowly eating away his health doing that. As you can see, I actually started with less health because I was in the blue zone and he shot me a couple times. And that does it. I really wanted to make this video just because I thought this was a very good win, and it was also, in general, a very good gameplay. When I was playing this, I had a heart attack towards the end, just because that final circle going around the same tree, that gave me a heart attack. When I saw that chicken dinner, I was jumping all over the room. It was awesome. Anyways, thank you everyone for joining me today. This has been WinRider711. I hope all is well, and I shall see you all in the next video. Have a good one.